Thank you for joining us on this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's explore the headlines that are shaping the current news landscape. ONGC has started oil production from its flagship deep sea project in Krishna Godavari Basin. India's first Inland Waterways Development Council or IWDC meeting has been hosted by Inland Waterways Authority of India in Kolkata. Karnataka High Court has banned mining near Krishna Raja Sagar Dam. SBI research report has revealed a decline in individual income inequality in the country in past 8 years. A report titled Digital Trade for Development explores opportunities and challenges for developing economies in digital trade. White paper titled Transforming Energy Demand has been released by World Economic Forum. Starting with the first news. ONGC has started oil production from its flagship deep sea project in Krishna Godavari Basin. ONGC has started producing oil from the Cluster 2 project in the Krishna Godavari in the Bay of Bengal. Offshore drilling process is being used for extracting petroleum from reserves located beneath the ocean floor using the floating rigs for drilling in deep waters and bottom resting platforms for drilling in shallow waters. Now let's understand some significances of offshore drilling for India. It will promote energy security by diversifying India's energy basket and making India self-reliant to meet rapidly growing energy needs. Some other benefits include the facilitation of technological advancement, job creation, and increased oil production stimulates economic growth. Apart from it, there are also some issues being faced in offshore drilling, such as subsurface geological issues, risk of oil contamination to marine life and coastal communities, and greenhouse gas emissions. If we talk about sedimentary basins of India, then India has 26 sedimentary basins categorized in 3 categories as are referred to in the map. Category 1 are basins with reserves being produced and exploited. Category 2 includes basins with contingent resources to be developed and monetized. Category 3 are basins with only prospective resources to be explored and discovered. Moving on to the next news. India's first Inland Waterways Development Council or IWDC meeting has been hosted by the Inland Waterways Authority of India in Kolkata. Let's start by first talking about the Inland Waterways Development Council. The council was launched in October 2023, seeking to enhance inland water transport in India. It is chaired by the Union Minister of the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways with participation from state governments and UTs. It will boost cargo, passenger movement and river cruise tourism. Major outcomes of recent Inland Waterways Development Council meeting includes Harit Nauka guidelines were issued for green transition of inland vessels. Also, a commitment of Rs 45,000 crore has been made for development of river cruise tourism and River Cruise Tourism Roadmap 2047 was launched. Now let's understand the significances of inland water transport. Revolutionizing logistics through factors like reduced costs and enhanced fuel efficiency has become imperative. Simultaneously, elevating congestion in the road and rail transport is achievable through the adoption of inland water transport, providing a viable alternative mode of transportation. Furthermore, regional connectivity assumes paramount importance, especially in linking the northeastern states with the rest of India. Some initiatives for inland water transport include Jal Marg Vikas project for development of the Ganga Bhagirathi Hooghly River system with focus on cargo and passenger ferry. National waterways, 23 out of 111 notified national waterways are operational, facilitating shipping navigation. Maritime India Vision 2030, targeting to increase the modal share of inland water transport from 2% to 5%. Maritime Amrit Kal Vision 2047 identifies 46 initiatives to develop inland water transport. One example is port-based agglomeration centers and coastal berths. Moving on to the next news. Karnataka High Court has banned mining near Krishna Raja Sagar Dam. The ban will remain in force within a 20 km radius of the Krishna Raja Sagar Dam until a dam safety survey by the Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, Dhanbad. Krishna Raja Sagar Dam in Mandya district of Karnataka is located on the Kaveri River. It was constructed under the leadership of Sir M. Visvesvaraya during the rule of Wadayar dynasty in 1932. Now let's gain some insights about the dams in India. India is the third largest dam-owning nation in the world after US and China. India has more than 6,000 completed and operational specified dams and 143 are under construction. States are responsible for dam safety regulations. Now let's talk about concerns associated with dams. Dams typically help alleviate regular floods but pose a significant risk of more severe flooding in the event of dam failure. 293 large dams are over 100 years old, and there is a lack of funds for repair and maintenance of dams. Many dams face siltation, which reduces water storage capacity and harms aquatic species, wetlands, and farmland. There is also inadequate reporting and recording dam failure events. Now let's have a look at some initiatives taken for enhancing dam safety. First is the Dam Safety Act of 2021, which provides for proper surveillance, inspection, operation, and maintenance of specified dams. Second is the National Committee on Dam Safety under Dam Safety Act, constituted by the Center to evolve dam safety policies. And at last, the Dam Rehabilitation and Improvement Project Phase 2, being co-financed by the World Bank and the Asian Infrastructure and Investment Bank. Moving on to the next news. SBI research report has revealed decline in individual income inequality in the country in past 8 years. Let's first dive into the key highlights of the report. If we talk about the timeline between 2013-14 to 2021-22, in terms of Gini coefficient, income inequality of the taxable income group has declined from 0.472 to 0.402. 36.3% of taxpayers have moved from lower income to higher income tax bucket. Top 2.5% of taxpayers' contribution in income has declined from 2.81% to 2.28%. Female labor force participation is rising, and micro firms are transitioning towards small, medium, and large size firms. These findings of the report dispel the notion of K-shaped growth or recovery. K-shaped recovery happens when different sections of an economy recover at starkly different rates. Many experts have suggested that post the COVID-19 pandemic, India is experiencing a K-shaped recovery where the rich thrive while the less privileged face challenges. Now let's understand about the Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient is a statistical measure of income or wealth inequality ranging from 0, which is perfect equality, to 1, which is perfect inequality. Theoretically, values over 1 are possible due to negative income or wealth. Gini coefficient larger than 0.40 is considered high. If I talk about Lorentz curve, then it is a graphical representation of the distribution of income or of wealth. Moving on to the next news. A report titled Digital Trade for Development explores opportunities and challenges for developing economies from digital trade. The report is a joint publication by the IMF, World Bank, World Trade Organization, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and UN Conference on Trade and Development. If we talk about digital trade, then it includes online transactions for goods and services, whether delivered digitally or physically, involving consumers, businesses, and governments. Now let's have a look at the key findings of the report. It reveals a substantial surge in the value of digitally delivered services, marking a nearly four-fold increase since 2005. This growth, averaging at an impressive 8.1% annually from 2005 to 2022, outpaces that of goods exports 5.6% and other services exports, which is 4.2%. Digital trade also brings forth significant opportunities. It stands as a catalyst for assisting developing economies in minimizing barriers to market entry, providing direct global market access that circumvents traditional intermediaries like wholesalers and retailers. Furthermore, the advent of cost-effective platforms tailored for small and medium-sized enterprises opens new venues for business expansion. In a socio-economic context, digital trade emerges as a powerful tool to empower women entrepreneurs, offering flexible business models that enable them to overcome prevailing socio-cultural barriers. There are also some challenges being posed in the area. About one-third of the world's population are mostly in low and lower middle-income economies and still don't have online access. Compounding this issue are high tariffs imposed on imports of information and communication technology equipment, restricting affordability and hindering technological advancement. Regulatory hurdles, including concerns about cross-border data flows, competition, and consumer protection. Now let's talk about the recommendations given by the report. Developing economies are in need of heightened international financial and technical assistance to bolster their connectivity, skills, and regulatory capacity in the realm of digital trade. Initiatives such as the WTO-led Aid for Trade, UNCTAD-led E-Trade for All, and World Bank-led Digital Advisory and Trade Assistance Fund stand as pivotal contributions to this cause. Global collaboration is imperative to guarantee that small businesses, women, young entrepreneurs, and consumers across the globe can fully access and benefit from the advantages offered by digital trade. Moving ahead, white paper titled Transforming Energy Demand has been released by the World Economic Forum. Its goal is to find practical ways for companies and governments to speed up the global energy transition by taking action on energy demand. At COP28, governments committed to tripling the world's renewable energy capacity and doubling energy efficiency improvement by 2030. Now let's dive into the key findings of the report. Firstly, global savings in energy consumption can be achieved by implementing measures to manage energy demand, potentially reducing consumption by up to 31% and yielding annual savings of as much as of $2 trillion. Addressing both energy demand and supply is paramount in diminishing the energy intensity of current and future activities. Looking ahead to 2050, with a projected global population increase of 2 billion and an anticipated doubling of GDP, it becomes imperative to ensure that developing economies have access to adequate and affordable energy resources to fuel their growth and achieve their developmental objectives. Now let's have a look at some suggestions given in the paper. First is the energy-saving measures, such as using artificial intelligence to optimize factory line design, industrial clustering, retrofitting buildings and electrification of transport. Also introducing a supportive policy environment like India's Ujala program, which reduced the initial cost per LED bulb to as low as $0.8. The personality in news for today is Bharatendu Harishchandra. He was a poet, writer and a reformist. Now let's have a look at his contributions. He promoted and revived the Hindi language. He is also known as the father of Khadi Boli, and one of the era of Hindi literature is also known as Bharatendu Yug after him. He wrote under the pen name Ras. He used publications to shape public opinion during the freedom movement. Notable journals by him are Harishchandra Chandrika and Kavi Vachan Sudha. Popular dramas written by him are Andher Nagri, Bharat Durdasha, and Vedic Hinsa, Hinsa Na Bhavati. He exhibits the values of nationalism, empathy, and courage. As we conclude today's main news, let's go through some quick updates. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation has updated flight duty time limitations regulation for flight crew, aligning them with global best practices. These changes aim to tackle pilot fatigue and improve overall flight safety. DGCA is an attached office of the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Its role is to regulate air transport services to, from, or within India. UAE has announced its participation in NASA's Lunar Gateway Station, expected to be launched by 2025. Other participating countries are the USA, Japan, Canada, and the European Union. Gateway is humanity's first space mission that will orbit the moon. Under Artemis mission, NASA will land first woman and first person of color on the moon. Hog deer are supported for the first time in Rajaji Tiger Reserve in Uttarakhand. Hog deer is a small deer with rounded ears, and older animals tend to become light-colored in the face and neck. They are herbivore and live in riverine flooded grasslands with tall grasses or dense vegetation, found in tropical or subtropical climates. Their IUCN status is endangered and they are protected under the Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Lakshadweep, India's smallest union territory, is an archipelago of 36 coral islands. Out of these, 10 islands are inhabited. Southernmost island, Minicoy, is situated close to the busy 9-degree channel, a critical shipping route. Originally named Lakadiv, Minicoy, and Amindiv, these islands were renamed Lakshadweep in 1973. Primary economic activities on the islands are coconut cultivation, coir production, agriculture, fishing, and tourism. Indigenously developed an anti-drone system that was inducted into the Indian Armed Forces. Developed by DRDO, the D4 system can detect, track, and identify rogue drones within a 4-kilometer range. The system can instantly detect and jam micro-drones and use a laser-based kill mechanism to terminate targets. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, celebrated on 9th January every year since 2003 to mark the contribution of overseas Indian community in the development of India. 9th January commemorates the return of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to India in 1915. Since 2015, under revised format, Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention has been organized once every 2 years. 17 Pravasi Bharatiya Divas conventions have been organized till date. An American company has developed a fuel, anil, named after India scientist Dr. Anil Kakotkar. Anil is a mix of thorium and uranium of a certain level of enrichment called HALU, or high-assay low-enriched uranium. HALU has an enriched level of 5 to 20%, whereas most current reactors are enriched up to 5%. Lily Gladstone, the first indigenous Best Actress winner at the Golden Globes, delivered a speech in the Blackfeet language. Blackfeet or Blackfoot is an Algonquin language that predated English and French. It is spoken in Montana in the US and in Alberta in Canada by Blackfoot people. Before we go, it's time to put your knowledge to test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed this edition of News Today. To get the answers to today's quiz and to download the PDF of News Today, make sure to check out the links in the description below.